phone's ringing.
You got that going?
Yep. There we go. You're live.
Hi, everybody. Are you pointing in the...
I'm pointing at you. Hold on, my phone was ringing.
Baby in your hand. 2 phones.
We're good.
Chaos over here. Chaos. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Today is the letter X.
Welcome to our house.
Welcome to our house. Welcome to our dining room, which we have now moved all of our computers into and is no longer a dining room. I was really on the fence about hyping up this class today because the letter X has a secret surprise in it, which you will find out in a little bit. But I didn't get around to it because I have 3 small kids and I'm trying to run a business. But you are in for a surprise, let me tell you. And before I get started, I have to do, Morgan and Lorna just came home from the studio. They are shipping orders all morning, and then we had a order for a Card Lovers gift box. Whoa, awesome size.
Show us what's in there, Arlie.
Hand lettered cover. So we have this thing on our website. It's the Card Lovers gift box. Basically, it's a wooden box that you get, and it's filled with cards for every occasion. It's got baby cards, birthday cards.
Show us some cards, would you?
This one's one of my favorites. I hope you have a crappy birthday. ... I mean happy. Damn autocorrect. That's one of my favorite cards. We have all kinds
It's
of
a
cards
best-selling
in here.
birthday card. So the idea behind this is that you have a year's worth of cards in your box so that you're prepared for any occasion.
Yeah. So you're like, oh shoot, it's Susan's birthday, and then you're like, wait, I have a card. I have a box full of cards. And what we do is for $5 you can have it personalized. So this person's name is Olivia. Olivia, if you're watching, I'm sorry to spoil the surprise. Somebody is buying you a Card Lovers gift box.
Whoa, awesome size.
That's a whoa, awesome size. You have to be very special. But what we do is basically we're just gonna write Olivia's name on there. Yep. The low commitment O. This silver Sharpie just writes so nice on this wood cover. So now Olivia has a Card Lovers gift box, personalized.
Show us how you tie that up.
Just gonna put the lid on there, make a nice little do-do-do-do-do. That is the official
Sound.
That's the official sound. I only have nine fingers here, people.
Oh yeah, we super glued Arlie's finger.
Yeah, but the good news is that it looks like it's growing another finger off of it, so that's good.
You'd be excellent hand letterer.
Yes, I will have
This is not usually your job, the bow tying.
I'll have 11 fingers by the time this is done.
Maybe I should tie this bow.
Maybe you should tie the bow. I'm going to let you tie it. Want me to hold the baby?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, Rolly. How are you? Hello, sweetie. Hi. I'll let Morgan do the hard part.
Okay, so what's great about this Card Lovers gift box, let me hand you the phone,
Okay.
is that you are getting such a discount on these cards. They're half price.
Oh, so it's like a wholesale, people get it for wholesale price?
You're getting half off your cards. And you get this beautiful wooden box.
And if you calm down.
Calm down for a second.
All right.
Now you can have the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a great deal. And
Hold on
you
a
can
second.
keep...
Do this. How's it going? Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I just wanted to show you the baby. Hi, Rolls.
The other thing I love about it is that you can keep letters and cards in it that people send to you after you send all the cards out.
Oh, yeah. It's a
So,
keepsake.
You know, if you're a card lover, you can keep your cards in that box.
All right.
So we're gonna ship that out. Thanks. Postal service.
Okay. All right. I think this baby wants you. Take this baby.
Hi, Rose.
All right. So,
How's your lighting situation? You were worried about that.
well, it's snowing. It's hot. My glasses are fogging up. I think our light's okay. I'm glad you guys all are here to join us today. Thank you for your patience as we figure out our little...
I have one more thing I want to ask
Morgan.
everyone.
Yes.
I need to place another order for pens. We got pens in, we've sold pens out, we're getting a lot more in. And before I place the order, I want to know, do you need anything? What are you looking for? Like, we have access to like every kind of pen there is. You'll see if you go on our website that we sold out a lot of things really quick. But, and are you looking for something? Can we help you find it? And let me know, because I'm going to place that order probably tonight. So send us your requests about what you want for pens.
Yeah, you can leave it in the comments or you can DM us, but if there's like a pen that you're looking and you can't find anywhere, you let us know. Or if you just want to stay tuned to our site and see what we bring in, there's that option too.
All right, those are my things that I needed to talk about.
Those are your things. All right.
You ready?
Yeah, I gotta use my windshield wipers on my glasses.
Okay.
All right. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're on the letter X. I can't believe we're on the letter X. This is like...
Speaking of, we have decided we need a weekend. I know that's like a really foreign thought these days.
Yeah, all the days kind of just blend together, but...
But we got to take a little break every now and then.
So tomorrow we're gonna do Y, and then...
We'll take Saturday and Sunday off so we can upload things to the online shop.
But we also, yeah, we have some schemes and dreams we're also working on Saturday and Sunday, so we're not just gonna sit on our butts eating bonbons. We have some other exciting projects in the works.
But we'll be back on Monday with the Z and continue on with various other lessons Arlie wants to teach you all.
Yeah. I can't believe that we're almost at the end of this alphabet. This is crazy.
I'm gonna scoot. Can we scoot the monitor this way?
Towards me?
Yeah.
Is that better?
We're in. Good.
All right. Cool. All right, so if you were here, you probably know we are going to be doing a sans serif, and script style. We are going to be starting with our mono-weight style. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to ask those in the comments, and Morgan will try to spy when she can. But here we go with some mono-weight sans. Oh, you guys S is off in the middle of nowhere.
Is it gonna be time for Frankie's nap soon? What should I be aware of?
She may want to sleep soon, yes. All right, so
Okay.
I know that I promised a surprise, and I was really hoping to be able to just like wait till the end, but the truth is I can't because I have to draw this letter right now, and there's kind of no way of getting around it. But this mono-weight sans serif capital X is going to be the perfect example of what I'm trying to keep from you until the last minute. So we are going to apply our first beautiful little stroke here, nice and parallel, nice and consistent weight throughout that stroke. All right, so you're probably saying to yourself, I mean, how hard can this be, right? This is a letter X. What do you do next? You just go, bam, right? No. To the distance. That's not what we do. We are going to do a trick. All right, follow me, folks. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to create another stroke that keeps this negative space pretty even and balanced there. But we're not going to go all the way through. So we're going to stop like right about there. Well, let's thicken that up. And now you're saying to yourself, this is ridiculous. It looks like a backwards Y. What are you doing to me? This is crazy. I'm going to start watching a different Instagram account right now. What is Martha doing? Talking about gin and wine. That is what Martha is doing right now. If you have not followed her personal account, today is a very special occasion. All right, so now we have our X. You know what? I'm actually looking at this, and it might be a little not the best example. I'm going to delete this one and give you guys a better option because that was a little bit... I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm setting myself up for the bad time here. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more of a, there we go, of an even... I wanted that distance to be a little bit wider. Okay, so I'm drawing a little bit more of a distance. Sorry if I messed you up. You can blame me. Just blame me. Blame me for everything. I'm used to it. I'm a middle child. All right, so what we're going to do here, so instead of this stroke coming straight through like this, what we're going to do is we are going to sort of, that's sort of like the logical place where that X should start. We're actually going to erase that. We're going to kind of jump up a little bit, higher up. And we're going to just kind of finish out that stroke kind of jogged out like that. So if we try to look at those lines, this line kind of comes down here and this line kind of comes up here. So we're just kind of like disjointing that letter form just a little bit. And the reason we're doing that is because this is actually kind of not the best example because I was doing it really slow. If I do it a little bit faster, it's a little bit easier to see. So I'm going to do this again. We're going to draw our downstroke. We're going to come back up here to our upstroke. And we're going to disjoint that a little bit. And the goal is, and this is still kind of lopsided, I'm almost like at an angle here, which I don't really like. But let me show you what I'm trying to do here. I don't know why I'm messing this up so bad, and I apologize. But this is the idea. Okay, so if you had just done a regular old downstroke here, and a regular old downstroke here, actually that looks better than the other ones. It's not going very well for me. It looks, but anyway, the idea is that this part is much smaller than this part, and this looks like it's gonna tip over a little bit. These are terrible examples of X's. Do not look at these; those are not very good. Let's try drawing a better one. I think my issue is that I'm making my intersection a little bit too low. Because like with all letter forms, you just want it to be, you want it to look even, you want it to look sturdy, you want it to look balanced. You don't want it to look like it's falling over. So let's try this. So before I was going all the way down, like almost beneath this mean line here. I'm going to try to aim to be a little bit higher this time and hope that that makes a difference. I wonder what if that was, yeah, that was my issue before. I apologize. I was starting too low. So pick my pen up, draw that stroke down again, a little disjointed. You definitely want to maintain that parallel line. And I'm just going to kind of beef this up a little bit because I feel like this is really tricky. It's so funny. It's like, this is the letter X. How hard can it be? But it's actually pretty darn tricky. You want that balance. You want to make sure that it's sturdy and strong. And you see how I'm kind of struggling with that? It's a little crazy. But I think that one's probably the best one yet. It's got a pretty even negative space here at the top and the bottom. What I don't like about this is that this point is a little bit higher than that point. I would really like to try to keep that line a little bit more balanced. Let's try drawing that again. I'm like determined to get a better X. I will not rest. I hope you guys are not struggling as much as I am over here. Alright, so we're gonna start with our stroke, just slightly disjointed there. There. I'm happy with that X. And again, if I try to follow that line, it's just a little bit disjointed there. But this is an X that I like. It's a subtle disjointedness. You know, it's not like really, really obvious. But you can tell because this is standing nice and strong here, and this is kind of reaching up toward the sky and looking pretty proud and good. But that's a good, I would say that is a good X. I'm not completely happy with the thickness of this. That leg seems a little bit thick to me, but you know, practice. I'd probably do a whole other row of these just to be sure that that is that I'm feeling confident with that letter form. But with our lowercase x, that same principle applies, except we are just going up to that mean line here instead of going from the cap line and the baseline. We're still going to use the baseline, but we're going to stop here at the mean line, which is this line here, also referred to as the x height, or I should say the x height. There you go. See what I did here? So let's draw some of those. We're going to start with our downstroke to the right, up to the mean line, nice and flat on the top. Draw our hello pin. Pins are breaking. What's going on? Hold on, I gotta charge it. I was just charging it. It's kind of weird. Well, let's give it another shot. Sorry, folks. Still not working. That's weird. How's my battery on this? Let me look here. Sorry, everybody. My pen ran out, hon. This is not working anymore. Ugh. All right, well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back to the good old-fashioned days. Hey, Morgan.
Yeah.
Can you give me a hand?
Yeah.
All right, hold on 1 second. We're gonna try to take this thing off. Oh, wait, there it is. Actually, you know what? Never mind, hon. I think I figured it out. I don't know. Now it's looking like the pen registered all that stuff. You see that? And now it's like, oh yeah, there's everything I was just drawing. I'm having just a little bit of technical difficulties here.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for your patience. Hi, I'm here. Hi, how are you? All right, is that better? No, still not. Is it working? Yes. Okay, now it's working. Can you see if that's okay on the screen?
Yep,
here?
once a line now.
So that was weird, but I guess we're back.
You're back.
Okay, where were we? Oh yes, lowercase x. How could I forget? So we are going to start with our upstroke over here, and then just kind of disjoint it a wee bit so that we are making a nice wide base. Now, if you have been watching me work, you'll notice that I kind of like have this habit of sort of making it a little bit leaning. So I want to keep practicing. I want to keep practicing and like being aware of that tendency. I think what it is that it's just I'm choosing a different angle here. That's not correct. But let me see if I can do a little bit more of like a severe angle. Maybe that's better. Did you watch the Martha post today, or the one that she was talking about? That looks so funny to me. The one where she was talking
You're
about
trying too hard. You're thinking about it.
gin and wine.
No.
Oh man, it's a good one. Martha Stewart, 48. She talks about gin and wine. She just starts going gin and wine and gin and wine. I'm waiting for the remix. This is terrible. This is a really bad X. I'm sorry, folks. But we're human, right? And this is what we're doing. We're spending our day drawing X's to practice. Keep drawing some X's.
Here comes Gio.
Are you done finishing the tech class?
No, I'm just getting started. Look at these X's. That one's all right.
Do you need help? Oh,
I
hold
think I
on.
need
Let
to
Bud help you.
move my
Hold on.
angle a little bit.
Could you lift the curtain?
Yeah, hold on a second. Oh, you want that one? Okay. You gonna draw on the windows? Go at it, kid. It's washable. It's okay. I sent a video of Geo painting the other day to my sister and my dad.
Did they freak out?
Yeah, Ariel's like, oh my God, I would never let my kid paint on the floor. And I'm like, it's not like oil paint, it's just like washable paint. Just you don't even need soap, you just wipes up with the water and a paper towel. But then I feel like I really want to just like start doing a lot of really crazy projects and just being like, oh my God, did you see what he did? I'm not telling her that's
That you're playing jokes?
yeah. He just
Okay.
laser etched our windows.
How do you decide the angle of the initial line and part of the X?
That is a good question. It is a little intuitive. It's not exactly like an equation that you could always apply. It's not like, oh well, if your letter N has this angle, you just apply that same angle.
Would your lined paper that has the angle on it be helpful for the X at all?
No, because that is for script lettering.
Okay.
That's a good question though. What I would do is I would try to, and if you need to practice it, I would try to do some practicing first. But what I would try to do is draw that angle with the, keeping in mind the width of that letter form, and trying to make that as consistent as, wait a minute, what am I doing here? It's like consistent with the rest of your letters in the lowercase alphabet. So you really just want to like be thinking about that width, that overall width, instead of like necessarily like the angle, because the angle, the width determines the angle, if that makes any sense. If it would help you, you know, if you want to draw like your lowercase e, you know, and you say to yourself, okay, here's my e, and I like this width, and this is the kind of like, you know, size that I want to stay in, you would basically just like, you know, try to maintain that, you know, that width, and draw your X within it.
She says that makes sense.
Awesome. Cool. All right, so let's start with some sans serif X's with some contrast. Now, if you guys have been following the show, you know our little trick by now, our contrast trick. If you have a stroke that's up and down,
Yes, thank you for asking.
it is
What I like.
thick.
Come back.
If you have a crossbar left and right, it is thin.
Put them on the counter.
If you have a upstroke to the right, it is thin, and a downstroke to the right, it is thick. So our letter X, we have both of these
It has a stroke.
strokes.
That is so
Really
cool.
big stroke.
So let's enact some of that logic to our capital X with some contrast. Again, this is sans serif, meaning no serifs, no feet.
Okay.
And we want our uppercase X to be consistent with the other uppercase letters that we have in our alphabet. So similar to a uppercase K or an uppercase B. So over here we are going to draw our stroke a little bit thinner, and we're just going to kind of disjoint it over here so that it stays nice and sturdy on the bottom. I think I'm going to draw that again, and I think I really want to try to experiment with this taller connection point. That's really like throwing me off here. I'm doing it up here. I think that is the secret, folks. Really making this connection point up a little bit higher. You know, maybe from the mean line or even a little bit higher than the mean line. because, you know, looking at this looks like the most confident X that I've drawn so far. It almost looks like it's walking confidently in the direction of its dreams or something like that. It's wearing a power suit and some heels, and it just had an espresso, and it's ready to take on the world. And I really prefer this X. It's this disjointedness is a little bit more obvious than I'd like, but at the same time, it just, you know, if you zoom out, you don't even really notice it. You're just like, oh yeah, there's an X. It's beautiful. So, you know, it may seem really obvious when you're like, you know, picking up your pen and just like starting to draw a new line over here, but at smaller scale, it's pretty unnoticeable. So I'm going to draw a lowercase x in that same fashion, using those same rules. We're going to come down here with our downstroke, nice and sturdy, and then our upstroke, we're just going to do the same thing. All right. And again, with this contrast, you can really vary the thicknesses of these strokes. You know, this is just an example. You can get really wide and very narrow, or you can, you know, do really wide and kind of really wide. It is up to you, and you can definitely experiment with those thicknesses as long as you apply this little trick here. You can't go wrong. And you stay within these sort of guide rules for now. These rules are definitely here to, you know, show you these boundaries and this basic composition and basic structure. But you know, there's always exceptions to these rules. You know, I was talking with my typographer friend the other day about the dots on the I, and you know, I've always made the dots of the I to go up to the cap line, and he was talking to me about how he just makes it a little bit lower because there's accents. He's doing, you know, accents in a different language, and he needs to be aware of that, you know, vertical space above the I. So, you know, there's always little exceptions that that pop up, and sometimes, you know, sometimes those exceptions are pretty essential, and in order for the composition to look legible and for it to look beautiful and fluid and organic, sometimes you just need to give yourself those exceptions. So, you know, yes, mean lines are important, yes, cap lines and base lines are important, but also having your work look beautiful and legible is also really important too. So if you feel like you stumble across, you know, what, like the decision to adhere to the rules or to break out of the rules, you know, I hope that you feel confident in breaking those rules so that you could make something that's really unique and beautiful. That being said, let's move on to our serif letter forms. All right, our serif X. There's gonna be so many serifs here, you guys. There's gonna be like a gajillion, lillion, fillion serifs. It's like not even funny. Okay, it's only 4, but that's kind of a lot of serifs for one letter. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with our good old-fashioned downstroke over here. And if you want to, we can draw it all in that one stroke. Draw our serifs all in that one stroke just to keep things fluid and connected. And then over here, we have our serif that we're going to connect down somewhere around here in this mean line area. And we're going to connect that serif back. These serifs are a little bit funny looking. This is drunk. Go home, Max, you're drunk. Let's try that again. This time I'm drawing those serifs as part of that initial form. And I think the problem that I'm having here is that my bottom serif is getting really chunky, And I think what happened was that I was trying to sort of come in and fill that in first before realizing that I wasn't continuing that line there. So I don't want this to be like this big sort of clunky club serif. I want it to be pretty consistent with that serif up here. Even though I think that this balance is pretty nice, it's a nice looking X. Let's do that over again and try to make our serifs a little bit more consistent. Consistent serifs. And I'm kind of coming back here to really finish that bracket up there at the top. And I want to make a really kind of tight bracket there at the bottom. You'll see that this serif looks so much different than this one. And I much prefer this one because it's more reflective of this serif up here. So they seem a little bit more balanced. This line looks like it kind of bends out a little bit to me. So I want to sort of straighten that up a little bit. That's a pretty nice X. That's a pretty decent X, I would say. It's pretty excellent. I gotta say something myself. Alright, so we have our capital X. Let's do some lowercase x's. Again, we're gonna go like serif bonanza over here. So serif on the bottom, serif on the top. You want to be aware of your serifs. You don't want them to be too long because this lowercase x is going to be smaller, and you don't want these serifs to bump into each other here. And make sure you have some vertical space there. But that is your little lowercase x. The serif looks really big on this side. I'm going to try drawing that again. Try drawing that again. There we go. That's better. Whew. That's a very tall. He's wearing like mom jeans on that X. Dad jeans, mom jeans, jeans. The kind of jeans that I probably should be wearing, but I don't because they're not very comfortable for me.
I have jeans on today.
You have jeans. You are kind of wearing mom jeans.
Hey, thanks.
And they're like short. I don't understand the short thing either. But they look great on you.
Liz Wood told me short jeans are cool.
I actually had to ask her about that. We went to New York. No, we went to LA, and I was just like, what is with everyone wearing? This was like when
Years ago.
Yeah, this was when the whole short pant thing started happening. And there's all these cool people around, and I'm just like, what? Why is everybody wearing short pants? It wasn't just short pants. It was like black short pants with like white socks, like light white, like tall socks.
Your second little X got cut off. Just so you know, that's kind of like the edge.
This is like right here.
Yeah, you can't see that.
Oh, really?
No.
If you want to zoom out a little bit.
I mean, I can't really zoom out. There you go. That's better.
Sorry about that, folks.
But
yeah, and then I was
short
like,
jeans.
and then I asked my very stylish friend Liz in New York. I was like, what's going on with these pants? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I just took mine to the tailor to get them hemmed. She's like, join the club here.
Do you know where the baby carrier is?
No. Is it hanging up in the thing?
I'll look.
Okay. All right. So now we have the beautiful script X that we're going to do, and I'm going to turn on my script lines here. We have this as a free download on our website if you haven't downloaded it already. But the reason these lines are here is because up until now we've been using a very vertical. That's a terrible example. We've been using a very vertical axis here. It's a very vertical axis. There we go. That's better. And now our axis is going to be obviously shifted diagonally for our script lines. So what that means basically is we want that sort of center of gravity to be sitting on a diagonal axis instead of a up and down vertical axis. So to draw our uppercase X, I don't really do a lot of floofy florals with it. I don't really draw a lot of letters that have an uppercase X on them, but I kind of start with something that looks like this, and then, you know, if I'm feeling really fancy, I'll just do a nice swirly combo, something like that. You want to just be careful that your edges here don't get too clunky and start making little shapes like it's a butterfly or something. You want it to still be legible. You still want people to understand that it's an X. But if you want to do like a curly Q or, you know, flourish or something there, you can do that as well. So the X is pretty straightforward. There's no trick, unfortunately, because you're at this axis here. It's just like a little bit easier to. It's like a little bit easier on the eye to have a wider base and a more narrow top. Because you are on the axis, that shift is sort of like helping that space, you know, that negative space on that bottom side. So kind of interesting how that works. But you don't have to do that disjointed little trick. And so if we were drawing our lowercase x, let's say it's in the middle of a word, come up with the baseline, and we're going to kind of make this like kind of loopy shape that ends with this fun little divot curl thing that we had done with our V's and our W's. And then we just kind of cross that over, but before we do that, we're just going to give ourselves a little, what do you call that, contrast there. You can make it a little bit a wider stance there. And you also don't have to make it, you know, this is like a very straight crossbar. You can do, a little bit more of a wiggly one. You can have it sit on the
Kind of the edge of your screen again.
Oh, really? I apologize if you guys couldn't see some of the other stuff I was drawing. I had no idea.
Sorry.
I don't take responsibility at all.
You?
So you can keep your crossbar and keep it from the mean line to the baseline, or you can you know, be a little bit more decorative with it if you'd like. And this little junction over here also indicates that this is the end of that letter and that it's going to continue on with a taller crossbar connection. I want to think of an example that has an uppercase X and a lowercase x.
Xanax.
Xanax!
Kidney Press would like to know, could you please also do another cap script X because the other one was cut off on the screen?
Yeah.
So maybe Xanax is a good.
Yeah. So here's the ones that I've done already. Let's do Xanax. Can you stay there and make sure that my
Yes, you're.
approaching?
Yeah. There you go. You're gonna make it.
I wonder if Xanax is the only word that has two X's. I should know because I play words with friends like all the time. Jeez.
What's your name if people want to play with you?
This is Arlie Rose, I think. It's nothing mysterious like my TikTok name. That X at the end is really kind of funky.
It is a little compressed.
Yeah. I'm gonna do
A second Xanax.
Xerox.
Oh.
Well,
See.
exceptional. I'm gonna do exceptional. The X, I did let's just do one more capital X so you can see. I'll do Xerox for this one. Seeing that we have a little bit extra time. Now this is a little bit of a different scenario because you're starting with an O, so you have a taller crossbar there, which is really, I think helps for a much more balanced lowercase x there. But let's do exceptional.
Hi, Jacques.
Jacques! Let's do exceptional.
Your print that you were pulling was beautiful. I saw pictures of it. Really nice job. I loved it. All that wood type. Everybody go check out Jacques Offset's recent prints. They're really nice.
Well, you know what? Exceptional EXC. Okay, I did that wrong. Hold on. And the reason I did that wrong is because, you know, I've sort of intruded this this space here at the bottom, and that was not intentional. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to actually draw that out into a bigger baseline and adhere to that, and use that to my advantage, and to create a new baseline. I'm going to turn my lines off. Because I think that was just going to mess me up. Fill this in now.
Does anybody have any questions while Arlie tackles that?
Again, if you guys are just joining us, or if you've joined us later on in the broadcast, we are going to be taking a little bit of a break this weekend. We're going to take Saturday and Sunday off, but we are going to be back on Monday with the letter of Z. We're going to do Y tomorrow. But Z will be on Monday, and we will continue with some lessons throughout the week. We're not just going to stop with Z because we're still going to be here.
Maybe you'll do some numbers?
Yeah, we've had people asking about numerals and flourishes and spacing and layout, so I think this will be a good opportunity for me to go into more detail about that, because that's something that I've really wanted to do more teaching, but I haven't really had the sort of bandwidth to do. Exceptional. Oh, I like how that just kind of flows like that. I like that T over the top too. So we have a little bit more time. Maybe we do a composition that has some X's in it. Can you try to finagle the camera so that it can see a little bit more? Maybe I need to back this up a little bit.
I would move your screen back. I wonder if that was the difference from the other day.
Can you see from from here to here?
Okay, can you remind us again what the name of the Photoshop? And it says pause due to poor connection. Seems like we're back.
Okay, so I'm in Photoshop, and I am using the Adobe CC version of Photoshop, and it allows you to download these lettering brushes for free, courtesy of this amazing brush designer named Kyle. And I have these Kyle's letters. Can they see these parts? Okay. So I'm under the lettering option. You have special effects brushes. You have copier, tone. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with it. But under the lettering options, I basically just have chosen the Tech Pen medium is what I use. And I am at.
Sorry.
Linda. And I'm using that at the 0.8, just the 8 size. And I just feel like that most accurately reflects like a more micron sort of style. But yeah, those Kyle's brushes are really kind of cool to do. Let's do a composition here.
Sorry, everybody.
Rolly, Ooh, Rose. All right. I'm trying to think of something that has an X in it.
Does anybody have any requests? Putting it out.
Yeah. What do you guys got with the letter X?
A little saying or a ditty.
Next big thing.
Next step, next right thing. You don't have to know what's, I don't know.
You don't have to know what's next. No.
Just take the next step.
Just take the next step. I like that. Let's do that. We're gonna do just take the next step. Thank you, Morgan. So I'm gonna use a couple of different sans serif styles, a couple of serif styles, some script styles.
Do you like sketch it out in your head before you start drawing?
I just kind of just now I kind of generally thought, how is this going to work? But yeah, so just to kind of take you through my thought process here, I was just like, okay, so just, take the next step. So I'm kind of like thinking, I feel like take and next and step are kind of like the three main parts. Just is kind of small, and take the is going to be also kind of small. But yeah, so before I draw, I just wanted to kind of,
Flush it out a little bit.
yeah, hash it out. Thank you for asking. That's a good question. I'm going to make my brush a little bit larger here so you guys can see. Okay. Sort of center that in my page a little bit. Okay. Might opt for like a nice little bold mono weight style here.
So the bottom of that A is kind of wonky.
Why? This right there?
Yeah.
Geez, why do you make me feel self-conscious about it?
Well, I'm just wondering, do you leave it? Would you correct it?
Yeah, I would probably just leave it.
I like it too, but
Until
I'm just.
This comes in, made me self-conscious.
Well, I feel like someone else would think that was poor quality if they did that themselves, but you like it and I like it too.
Yeah, I think it kind of adds some character to it. It makes it look like it's actually, hand drawn. And now as I'm drawing these letters here, and I'm really trying to keep in mind this negative space. I want that to be kind of even. One of my typography professors at Parsons always said, just imagine you have like a hourglass, and it's pouring sand in here. You want that sand to be even throughout these different letters. So that's just kind of a little visual to help with you visualizing that. And I'm trying to make these letter forms pretty consistent, not only in their stroke width, but also in their just general width of the letter form. So I thought I was going to do something like a little bit more like, you know,
Curvy.
yeah, but I think I just want to take as a like a very direct
Command.
yeah. I was really trying there to decide if I want like a very scripty N or a more like modern-y kind of N. I went for like a scripty N. That one looks like I hesitated a little too long. Just take the next. I should do for the bottom. Next. I feel like if I do step in the script, that's not going to be too much script. I'm going to go back to like a mono-weight style and kind of grow it with the baseline.
Baseline of next.
Yeah, that modulated baseline of next. But I'm going to try to keep a very straight baseline here. And I think I like that because it's like step is almost like stepping up. It sort of has that motion to it. And it's not like a really huge word, like it doesn't take up as much space as next. But because it is this nice, mono-weight sans serif, it just kind of demands a lot of attention. It's nice, bold presence that I kind of like. Yeah, so this is kind of nice. I would probably just add a little, there we go. So that is how I would draw that. I like how the word next, it's the largest word on the page, but because it is such a combination of these thick contrasts and these thin strokes, it doesn't take up that much visual attention. It almost looks like it's a complement to everything else, which is kind of how you want your letters to be. You don't want necessarily it just to kind of bombard the layout with all of the attention. You kind of want it to all really just work together so that, you know, when you look at it, you can, first of all, read it, and second of all, you know, it's a very sort of just pleasing balance of elements on the page. Just like, you know, I was actually contemplating making just a little bit smaller, you know, just kind of shrinking it down, not exactly the same, you know, width as the, but maybe just, you know, maybe this big, you know, this wide or something. But because it's this, oh, maybe I'll just add a bit of thing here. But because it's this kind of like hollowed, I don't really like that, I'm gonna take that off. This hollowed out serif style. Again, you know, you have that negative space that's adding to the white of the page. So it's kind of sort of giving itself a little bit of transparency in that regard. So All right, so that is our lesson for today. Tomorrow we are going to be doing the letter Y, and we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back on Monday with the letter Z. If you guys love this class, hun, can you show the computer again? We do have a Venmo set up. If you would like to make a donation, it is definitely not required, but definitely appreciated if you guys want to take the time to do that. We are having a blast doing this with you guys and really look forward to doing this every day. So much that we're almost at Z and we're like, how can we keep going? Because this is kind of awesome.
Show my new flag.
Oh, again, if you guys have any pen requests, Morgan's going to place an order tonight and let us know, and then we can put those up in the online shop. She also, do you want to talk about this flag?
Oh, we have like a large version of this flag hanging in our store window right now downtown.
And why do we have that hanging in our store window? Where did we see that?
Well, our store's closed.
Well, yeah, of course. But our friends at Suga's hung theirs up first, and then we saw it and we're like, oh my God, we have that. We had it hanging up in our son's nursery.
But we're gonna put these little ones online if you need it on your desk if you're working from home.
Stick it in a plant. Like we did.
And then we have 2 large ones we're gonna put online too in our online shop. So those will be online. I'm working on that this afternoon.
We're trying really hard to add a bunch of new stuff to our online shop, and thank you to everybody who is supporting us by shopping online with us. It really is quite awesome.
Yeah. Blunting the devastation.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
But if you guys have any requests, if you're like, oh, I have a hard time finding XYZ, let us know and we can try to do what we can to find something and put it online for you guys. Because we know what it's like to be searching for something, and then as your local and favorite Ladyfingers, we feel it's our duty to supply you with all the best things because we love you. Hope you have a great day. Take care of yourself. Wash your hands. Call your neighbors. We'll see you tomorrow.